2021. We're doing great. We're moving right along, and today is a day to review and play and put everything together. So I'm just going to do a quick recap of what we did for this week's lessons. So starting with lesson 15, we talked about choreography and the importance of learning how to put things together. And whether you choreograph a full routine or you put a couple of tricks together, that's still choreography. So my idea was to have you do a few groupings of a few tricks or 3 tricks that you can do back to back without stopping, so that you learn how to move smoothly from one thing to the next. And the other reason for choreography is that it gives you the opportunity to know what you're going to do in advance and apply some of the stylings, apply some of the body movements and the arms and the footwork to it, because you know you've got a plan. And eventually you'll be able to do that without a plan, but we definitely need to all start with a plan and continue to come back to new plans as we're progressing. So choreography was lesson 15. Number 16, lesson 16 was about timing. And there I introduced to you a few different timings, and we talked about waltz timing because that was the one that's different from everything else. It's that 1, 2, 3 beat. And in the waltz timing, every step you take, every time you move, it happens the same amount of time, meaning step number 1, step number 2, step number 3 all takes the same amount of time in waltz timing. Where then we looked at some rumba timing as a different example, where some of the steps were slower and some are quicker. We use that slow, quick timing. Next week we're going to get into, which is going to be really fun, a lesson a day on a different dance or even 2 dances. And each one of those dances has a different timing that we're going to be using. Sometimes we count to 8, sometimes we do slows and quicks, sometimes we count to 3. We do cha-cha, we have the syncopated timing where we're doing a 4-N. That means that we're taking 2 steps in 1 beat of the music. So being able to understand different timings gives you a nice variety of things that you can do. Just a multitude of ideas by switching the timing and being really hypersensitive and aware of what the music's telling you to do. Then we went on to lesson 17, which was about leading and following. So the idea that sometimes we are going to lead the hoop around. Pretty much all the time we're going to start by leading, because the hoop's not going to move anywhere by itself. But once it's in motion, we might have a chance to follow that action that it creates, or the momentum. So it becomes the dance of we lead, then we follow, and then it's just back and forth on that. And again, it just gives you another way to perceive movement. And dancers have lots of ways of perceiving movement and music and timing and all of these ideas. Day 18 was on body, where I took just simply hooping on the body, on the waist, and then I added in some footwork that can go along with that. I added in some arm styling, and I added in some turning. And I think those are the major things that make it a dance. So you can see if we do it with no dancing, or if we turn it into a dance by adding in our elements. Then we did, on the next day, we took the same idea with an off-body move. So I did a trick that had me standing still, and I didn't use my arms, except for the arm that was moving the hoop, of course, and I didn't do any turning. Then finally I applied all of those ideas and techniques into this basic hoop move, and it really does change the dynamics and the look of it, because again, we are dancing along with our hoop. So not just the hoop doing everything all the time as we're standing still, but we are the dancers that are dancing with our hoop partner. And then next, the final one before this review was finding your flow. So all of those things that we did this week led up to finding your flow. Because if you're learning how to put things together, you're learning how to add the techniques in, you're learning different timings, that's where putting that all together, finding your flow. And you know, getting really clear, like what kind of hooper do you want to be? Like who has the style that you most appreciate and feel like you can add some of those ideas. And as you do, and you draw a little bit of information from different people, then you create you and your own personal dance flow. So what I'm giving you here is some ideas and techniques to give you a foundation to understand how dancers think so that you can then move on to create the dance that you want and represents who you are as a person. So I hope you have fun with that, and let's just play with that today, and we will see you next week, and we have some really fun things planned for you, and we're going to go into actually the particular dances, waltz, rumba again, but adding in cha-cha and salsa and tango and foxtrot and samba and swing. So that's going to be really fun, and again, it's going to add a whole nother idea, and the more ideas that I can give you and concepts, the more I am giving you the information that will help you to create, right? Because I could just teach you a bunch of tricks and you will learn a bunch of tricks, but what to do with all of these things that you're learning and how to make it a dance and how to be a dancer with your hoop. So we'll see you back next week's lesson, and have a fun time playing with these things and being a dancer.